Barcelona defeating Dortmund 4-0.
4.
And PSG defeating Aston Villa 3-1. Both games, in my opinion, ultimately rendering that second leg useless.
Yeah, I mean, both matches incredibly straightforward. As the game went on, let's start with Barcelona. You just kind of knew the goals were going to come. I will credit Dortmund. They held on a little bit longer than I thought they would. But once that first goal came, Barcelona just made it look so easy. Because ultimately, it was. It really was. Dortmund's a mid-table side in the Bundesliga. I asked during the live stream, how did they get here? And I meant more philosophically, man, because good Lord, they were so bad today. Yeah. They were so bad. 4-0 in a quarterfinal. It's embarrassing. It's really bad. But credit Barcelona, man, because dude, they cooked. They cooked from the moment the whistle blew at the start of the game. Lamine Yamal was already attacking Dortmund's backside. And the same thing with Rafinha and Lewandowski. Pedri, De Jong had perfect matches. Barcelona's defense didn't really have to deal with anything. This is a perfect match from Barcelona, 10 out of 10.
It's just crazy what they've been able to do in these past couple of months. They shored up their defense so much more, getting a clean sheet here despite Dortmund having their opportunities. I will say the Guirassy had a terrible match today, but all in all, I think Barcelona was just incredibly dominant. And if they were just sharp for the full 90 minutes, this could have been 6-0, 7-0 if they wanted.
Yeah.
4-0 was perfectly fine. And I just personally love seeing the connection that Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and Leva all have up top. And then seeing Fermin get involved as well. He was great today. I mean, who would you have as your man of the match? Who are you going to go with man of the match here? Because I think everyone was involved.
Everyone was involved. Yeah. I would entertain any player. I'm going Fermin just because he was so box-to-box today, involved in almost every single play. He was cutting out passes, and then he was in the box creating chances, shooting the ball. So I just thought his performance was more all around. But dude, I mean, Lewandowski with 2 goals, Yamal with beautiful curling balls and just dancing on the ball with his dribbles. Everyone was perfect today. Even Rafinha, every time he got on the ball, something was going to happen. So you could say anybody.
Yeah, I'm going Yamal because if you look at the goals scored, he had 2 hockey assists. On the second one, right after halftime, where he lobbed the ball to Rafinha, and then Rafinha passed it to Leva, and then the third one where he passed it to Fermin, who then found the assist to Lewandowski, and then he scored that 4th goal with a beautiful touch and finish. Great, just great from the offense. I honestly wasn't very surprising. It's crazy the numbers that they're all putting up. And the midfield was very great. Defensively, do you see this team improving? Do you see them being able to have the type of defense needed to ultimately lift the Champions League, man?
Yes, to go to the final, yes. To win it, I don't know, man. I think PSG have a better defense. Honestly, I think Arsenal have a better defense still. I still think Barcelona have just some flaws in that back line that gets exposed pretty much against anybody. Even this Dortmund side exposed it twice. Yeah. So for me, to have Barcelona win the Champions League, they can do it. But I still think they're not the favorites.
Yeah, I mean, it's a question of can the offense just make up for what will be exposed defensively.
Yeah.
I think it can. I think they're going into every game with this shootout type mentality. And I mentioned it during the live stream. I think they would have been completely fine conceding 1 or 2 goals to Dortmund because they know they're going to get 3 or 4 themselves. And that goes against basically any opponent that they face off against, not just Dortmund. So in the next round, it's looking like it's going to be Inter Milan, possibly Bayern Munich. I do think they're the favorites to defeat that opponent. And definitely the favorites on this side of the bracket to go to the final now, man. They just look so confident. Hansi Flick is going to live and die by this high line, but I'm curious to see how far it can take him because so far, so good for Barcelona. For Dortmund, I just want to highlight them for a quick second.
Okay.
I think what we saw today just shows a big difference in what this team has become after their really impressive Champions League run last year.
Yeah.
I mean, we can just start up top with Guirassy. It's a complete downgrade from Füllkrug, man.
I know.
Completely. Füllkrug gets a brace today, man.
Yeah.
And Guirassy looked lost at moments. Looked like he wasn't ready for the big responsibility handed to him in this really big game. Midfield got completely taken over. You still got guys like Emre Can playing. It's tough. It's tough what you're asking this Dortmund team to do. And I just don't think they have the players anymore to hold their own in these big matches as they get deeper and deeper into the Champions League.
Now, they got fire last year. We got to give them credit for that. The players just were all in sync. Sancho, remember him just going off, bro.
I remember him.
You remember him, bro?
Yeah.
But he can only do it for Dortmund. Yeah, Maatsen was a revelation as well last year. There were so many good players that were just flowing for Dortmund. And now you look at them, there's just none of that flow. It's all completely gone. They're still good, but I mean, they're 4-0 type of loss good. Like it's not it's not anything truly competitive. So what just bad for Dortmund, man. Really bad. Like I'm trying not to kill them more because they were so bad today. They didn't do anything. They literally didn't do anything. Like their chances were genuine chances, but outside of that, they could barely get the ball into Barcelona's defensive third. They just couldn't do it. And I mean, let's be real as well. I think Barcelona recognized after 30 minutes that they're like, oh, we don't even have to try that hard and we'll win 4-0. I think if Barcelona went at them nonstop like it was Real Madrid, Barcelona scored 8.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If they had the Real Madrid logo on their jersey, they go crazy on this team, even more so.
Yeah.
Second leg, useless.
Completely useless, man. Low-key, if you're a Dortmund fan, just sell your ticket.
Damn.
Sell your ticket.
Man.
Get some money back.
Damn.
You know, buy a nice dinner for your family, something like that. Just sell your ticket. Don't even go.
Don't even go, man. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, man. I get it. Folks, let's go on over to the Aston Villa PSG matchup where PSG ends up going down to Aston Villa at 1.1-0, coming back with some quality goals, makes it 2-1 at one point, and then the final minute of the game, 3-1. Unfortunate goal to concede for Aston Villa because might end up being the dagger in what was their hopes of progressing in the Champions League.
Yeah, I'm actually going to credit Villa here for playing a lot better defensively than I thought they were going to. And they still conceded 3 goals, right? But I was expecting Villa to be a lot more open, to take a lot more heat than they did. But realistically, I'd say for a good 60 minutes, that middle 60 minutes, they really held PSG, truly. PSG were trying to find those spaces, and while they did find them, there was either Konsa or Torres or Emi Martinez stopping PSG from getting anything truly concrete. That really impressed me. So the absorbed pressure that everyone dealt with from a Villa perspective, I thought was fantastic. Now the problem is, this is PSG. We said before this match, they have one of the best offenses remaining in the Champions League, right alongside Barcelona. And I think they proved that today with 2 banger goals from Kvaratskhelia and Doué. And then Nuno Mendes basically doing the same thing, dropping an opponent, dropping Martinez, and getting the 3rd goal for PSG. This team is a juggernaut on all ends of the pitch. And even Villa playing well defensively could not stop them.
That's what gets me, man, is that even looking at the first and second goal from PSG, they didn't necessarily break down this Aston Villa defense or, just break them down completely. I thought the first goal from Doué was just a classic Doué move from outside the box, and he finished it just perfectly, bro. That's an unstoppable shot. It was incredible individual talent, and the same thing can be said for Kvaratskhelia and what he did on the counter there, rolling that ball over, dropping a defender, and the finish. You don't usually see players finish that opportunity, man, or after pulling off a skill like that, maintaining that balance and that control and finishing the shot off, hits the post inside near post for Emi Martinez and goes in. Are you kidding me, bro?
You're kidding me,
Are you kidding me, man? This is crazy individual quality that I do think rivals the same quality as we're seeing from Barcelona right now, which is why I do think, after seeing both teams play today and seeing the results that we saw yesterday, I think PSG Barca is my dream final right now. I think it is. Both teams on fire offensively. They can essentially equal each other out, cancel each other out in that sector, in my opinion. The defense, different philosophies, but getting the result for both teams, and then very good midfields. PSG Barca to me is the dream finals matchup. Down for Arsenal Barca though.
Yeah. But and that's the thing. That's what I wanted to point out is we're gonna get 2 finals, bro. Because Arsenal PSG, that's a final.
Damn.
That's a final with both forms right now and both how they're performing right now in the quarterfinals. That's going to be insane semi.
Should we just do a semifinal preview now?
Dude, basically.
Well, these games are done,
man. The games are done, man. The only one is the Bayern Inter, that could be get interesting. But, dude, Arsenal PSG is going to be ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
It's going to be ridiculous.
We got Trevor Batson saying, if we end up seeing Arsenal versus PSG in the semifinals, who do you think would take it for Arsenal? What do you think it would take for Arsenal to defeat PSG so we can see a 2006 UCL final rematch between Arsenal and Barcelona?
I think it would take the same determination that they showed against Madrid at the Emirates.
Absolutely.
It takes the same. If they show out against PSG the same way that they did against Madrid, it won't be 3-0, but it'll be tight. It'll be 0-0 for 60, 70 minutes. And then at that point, it'll just come down to individual quality or simply who wants it more, or a piece of brilliant class. Maybe Odegaard gets a crazy pass, and maybe it's Merino finishing, or maybe on the PSG end, it's Doué taking on two players and scoring from outside the box. I think it's just going to be absolute brilliance that gets either PSG or Arsenal through to the final. That's why I'm so excited for this matchup, man.
Yeah.
Because when I really look at both teams, I think Arsenal's defense matches up with PSG's. What PSG have, those are the fullbacks, true fullback threat. And that's what's going to be tough for Arsenal. But what I like about Arsenal is I think they can take it. I think they can take that pressure, unlike Villa, unlike the teams that PSG have played in the past. That's what I like about Arsenal. And when you look at Arsenal's midfield, I mean, does it get better than Odegaard? Does it really get better than Odegaard? I think the answer is no.
Matchups are crazy, man.
Matchups are crazy.
Yeah.
And then we already highlighted Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, Doué, Kvaratskhelia. It's ridiculous what they can do. Dembele.
Yeah.
That's going to be so fun to see. But Arsenal themselves, they've got good players going forward. Saka's back. And he looked maybe a little rusty, but a couple of weeks from now, I could see Saka just giving his heart out for Arsenal in a semifinal.
Folks, let us know. Let's do a poll. Arsenal or PSG? Who wins that semifinal matchup? No tie option, please. Arsenal or PSG? I want to see what the fans, the viewers think when it comes to that juggernaut of a matchup. I'm just thinking of the matchup specifically within the game. We saw Nuno Mendes pocket Mohamed Salah, man.
Yeah.
Imagine Bukayo Saka going up against him after Bukayo Saka just went up against
it wasn't Mendy. It was Alaba.
Alaba. Different quality of player right now. I mean, no disrespect, but it's different, man. I would love to see that matchup, bro. That'd be crazy.
I think PSG are the better team, but man, Arsenal can get damn close. They can get damn close.
Arsenal at 58%, PSG at 45%. And I think it's safe to assume that this will probably be the semifinal matchup because it's going to be tough for Villa to come back from 2. It won't be impossible given that they will be at home and they have these moments of magic, these moments of brilliance in them. But, man, 2-goal difference is difficult to overcome, especially with away goals not counting nowadays. You got to just flat out win by 2 goals to even just push it to overtime. I think PSG does get a goal away at Aston Villa's ground because of what I saw them do at Anfield. In my opinion, one of the toughest places to play at. They kept a clean sheet, bro, at Anfield, and they got a goal themselves. That's insane. Yeah. That's insane, and that's earned the utmost respect from myself. I got PSG seeing the result out.
Yeah, and that's why I'm disappointed with Villa because they played so well for 90 minutes, and then to concede that last goal, I just think they would have had a good chance just being down 1. Because the way Villa play, they purely rely on the counterattack. And it worked today. That's why they scored the goal. They got a really good counter, really good build-up play, and they got that 1 goal. I see Villa getting 1 goal at home. But 2, and if PSG are going to get another, it's just not possible. So I think it'll be really, really tough for Villa to do it. They were close, though, and that's what I love about Villa is they have so many good players this season. They've played well. This is not a bad performance. I think it truly is just simply PSG's that team. They're that team this year.
We've seen all 8 teams remaining in the Champions League play so far, and I want to ask the viewers, I want to ask the people watching this, comment down below, who's winning the Champions League? We've seen 4 games now with all 8 teams involved. I mentioned yesterday that I was holding off on my prediction until I see what this PSG team can do today, until I see what Barca could do today against Dortmund, if they can both maintain their consistency. And they both, excelled in flying colors. They absolutely balled out. And so I want to know from you guys, who do you guys have winning the Champions League? I want to get an answer from you because I have an idea what you're going to end up picking.
Right.
But I also want to reveal my pick because I think I finally got my answer today. Go ahead. Who are you going with? Who's winning the Champions League?
So for me, it hasn't changed based off of quarterfinal appearances. I'm going PSG.
Okay.
I think PSG, pound for pound, have the best players in every single position. You combine it together, you get the best team in Europe. Back to front, they dominate. I just don't think an opponent can really beat PSG, not in the form they're in right now. And offensively, they have 4 players that can absolutely kill you from every single angle. Barcelona can too, but I don't trust Barcelona's defense. Truly, just from an objective perspective, I think PSG have the better defense, and I think they also have the better fullbacks. Koundé and Balde are very, very good, but I think that just shows you how good Hakimi and Mendes are. They are the best in the business right now. So I think PSG, the best team in the Champions League, they're going to win it.
Damn. No, yeah. PSG being your pick. I'm looking at the chat. I'm seeing a lot of Barca. I'm seeing Inter get a shout out. Seeing Real Madrid still get a shout out here.
Seeing Real Madrid still getting some
shout
decent shout outs.
Decent shout outs from Real Madrid. I'm seeing Villa. You know where I'm actually at, man? I hear you on PSG. I do. I really do. I'm between Arsenal and Barca.
Yeah.
Because I do think Arsenal, I think they can get a result against PSG.
They can.
I think they can. Will they? I don't know. But I think they can do it. Barca, I think, is just the favorite to go all the way to the final on their side of the bracket. What I like about Barca after what I saw today is that it gave me a lot of clarity that their defense has definitely improved, bro. And they play a high-risk, high-reward style of football. That reward being a Champions League, victory at the end of the day. And I actually kind of like that. I like that they rely so heavily on their offense to carry them in these games, to have that crazy output, those moments of brilliance. I just don't see a world where PSG can maintain not just one threat like how it was with Liverpool and Mo Salah, because that was our issue, is that ultimately we don't have the offensive threats like Barcelona do. I think having Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and Lewandowski, and then a Fermin Lopez type player behind them, it's going to be way too much for a team like PSG to be able to handle, or even a team like Arsenal specifically. I think that's what Barcelona has that's different from Liverpool specifically. I think you pair that up with a really good midfield and a defense that has improved in these past few months. I'm going to go Barca winning it. Hopefully against PSG, because I would love to get my answer against your pick.
Yeah. I think if Barcelona play Arsenal, they win it. I think if Barcelona play PSG, they lose it. I think PSG will have a very tough task against Arsenal. But if PSG get to the final, they win.
Right. So if they defeat an Arsenal side after defeating, Aston Villa, after defeating Liverpool, taking down, Premier League's best teams, they would have the confidence to then go up against, La Liga's finest and take down Barcelona.
Yeah. And because Arsenal could get through and scrape through, I would actually have Barcelona as the favorites against Arsenal.
Yeah. I probably would agree with that too. I would. But I think Barcelona would be my favorite against PSG specifically. They're also on their own trajectory, great momentum and everything.
That's crazy though, because you just said yourself, Mendes pocketed Salah.
Yeah.
Mendes is going to be fine against Yamal, and then on the other side, Hakimi is going to be fine against Rafinha.
That's where I disagree.
Beraldo, Pacho, and Marquinhos, whoever plays, is going to be fine against Lewandowski. I'm not saying they're going to dominate them, but they're going to be able to handle them, right? That's what this comes down to. And then when you look at the midfield, Vitinha, Neves, all very good ball handlers. I'd say they're the same when it comes to De Jong, for example.
Yeah.
So I think it's very, very tight. Why I say Barcelona can't win is because Barcelona get caught. We saw it today against Dortmund. Imagine Doué, Dembele, and Kvaratskhelia going at Barcelona. We haven't seen Barcelona handle that yet. We haven't seen it. So I guess I can't say that my aspect is correct, but what I'm saying is just watch out for PSG's offense.
Absolutely.
You gotta watch out.
The offense is very, very dangerous. I think you're undermining Barcelona's offense, though. The PSG hasn't faced a team that has 3 killers like that right now. Liverpool. Ultimately, they just had Salah, man. Like it showed in those 2 legs. There's no one there to help him out, bro. It was Harvey Elliott who scored for us off the bench. He got 20 minutes in both matches,
But I think that shows you how good PSG's defense was by shutting down Diaz, for example, by shutting down Jota, because...
I disagree, man. You see the numbers that they put up this whole year. They haven't been those level type of players as Rafinha has been, as Lewandowski has been. They're more traditional in their position as well.
Yeah, but that's hard to compare. I think you just have to go with the players'
ability,
performance. Performance is
I think Rafinha,
just with themselves.
If we go Rafinha, Luis Diaz, it's not even close, man. Rafinha's been so much more clinical this whole year, way more creative, way more consistent. And then Levi is just such a pure 9 that I think you can't really compare, Jota or Darwin Nunez or whoever was trying to fill in for Liverpool in that position. I think got exposed against Liverpool.
Absolutely.
I think having a more set go-to player in that situation will benefit Barca a lot, man. I think that's the difference that I see between Barca and Liverpool, and ultimately what Liverpool was missing offensively that did get exposed in their matchup with PSG. So I do see PSG conceding more goals. I agree with you though. I think PSG will score more as well.
But then you're completely undermining Liverpool's offense, like completely, I think, by saying that.
Well, it was something that got revealed to us in the biggest games in these past month was that our offense is actually a little bit limited within like a big game setting. Like it ultimately was give it to Salah and see what he can do, and the other players fell short completely for us. I have more confidence that Rafinha steps up than Luis Diaz right now in a big final matchup.
Yeah, but who have Barcelona really played?
The teams that you can play in front of you, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Only in front of you, yeah. Like, yeah. I mean,
so PSG have proven against Premier League's best that they can go toe to toe. Barcelona are playing mid-table Bundesliga. It's not Barcelona's fault.
Well, yeah, right now, yeah. But I mean, PSG does have that victory against Liverpool, but I think Barca's the only other team that can match up to Liverpool's level, and they have a better offense to offer. So I see that as a more dangerous side. That will be able to expose, a PSG team that will be a little bit scared about being their first Champions League final since the Neymar days, with a big title at hand, with a lot of young players too.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a great matchup, but I'm still going Barca, man. If that ends up happening,
I see. But then the confidence PSG's showing, bro. I think you're saying that they're not confident in Barca is.
No. I'm saying that I'm talking about how they match up against each other. And I don't think PSG has seen a team or an offense that is actually as deadly as Barca's is this year. And I see that as a big difference maker.
But has Barcelona?
Yeah, they see Vinny, Mbappe, and Rodrigo regularly, bro.
But we just shat on Madrid yesterday, and it was proven.
But a big part of it was because of how these teams have lined up against them. Arsenal has one of the best defenses in all of Europe, and Barca does have that against those big type players, man. Like, we have to give them credit for that. They played great against Real Madrid, like the three best offensive talents we thought we'd see this year. I mean, that's who they consistently face off against, and they've done great, bro.
Absolutely.
That's the most I can give you, but I think that's even a little bit more than what Liverpool ultimately had to offer because we don't have that much offensively when it comes to a front three that's as deadly.
Dang, man. I really rate Liverpool's offense very highly. I really do. So that's ultimately what I'm really disagreeing with here.
I think
I rate it very highly.
Our offense actually isn't purely just our front three. It's also the midfield talents that score a lot of goals for us.
Yeah, and PSG shut that down.
They did, but I think
really
Barca has a less offensive midfield, but more controlling midfield that can counter PSG's control. And so I think that's good. I think that's something new, something different, because you can't just do the same thing that Liverpool did. I think that will help them a lot in a final setting. And I just think that the front three is just killer right now, man. Like, same with PSG. But I don't know, man. It's a battle of philosophies here. What do y'all think? It
is.
What do y'all think? Let's do a fun poll. If Barca faces off against PSG, who's winning? I agree with your Arsenal take, though.
I think
if
it's
Arsenal
beats
PSG, I got Barca.
Yeah. But it'll be really, really interesting. I think another thing is because I just haven't seen Barcelona play against an actually good team. I can't count Madrid as that. I can't. And I also can't count Atletico as that either.
Yeah, so you're saying there's only one team that was that, and that's Liverpool?
So
who would be the other team then?
Yeah, so what I'm going to say is I'll get the answer in the semifinal because I rate Bayern higher. I also rate Inter Milan higher. So I think we'll get a lot more answers.
For sure.
Because right now, we're going off against Dortmund 4-0, bro. Yeah. I think it's very easy to hype up Barcelona.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But they are, I'm not denying that their front three is the best. I said before the game, top two offenses right now are PSG and Barcelona.
Yeah, for sure. I think we got a lot of Barca fans in here, so it's 85% Barca. I don't think it's that different.
Sure.
I don't think the difference is that big. But let's read some of y'all's comments. What do y'all think? Barca, we beat Bayern, who beat PSG group stages. Hey, don't doubt Barca, though. Barca have all the confidence in the world. Barca can beat anyone, says Fantasy Warfare. I'm seeing just a lot of Barca love right now.
Then you should. They're the next best team. I think the best two teams are PSG and Barcelona.
Are we sleeping on Inter? That's what Mr. Happy is asking.
Sleeping, maybe a little bit. I think we're snoozing. I think we're drifting off just a little bit. But the way Bayern played Inter, I saw a lot of cracks in Inter's play, man. Like a lot. So I just think ultimately they're beatable. Yeah, they're like so very beatable.
I think so too.
Yeah, if you just attack them, they can absorb a lot of pressure. But I mean, if Bayern just had Musiala, I think they would have gotten a better result.
Yeah. Let's see the final results of the poll. Barcelona 89%, PSG 11. I don't see it that different. I think it's much closer if they're both to match up there. But there's still big games remaining for both teams. Barca will have to defeat Inter Milan or Bayern Munich, and PSG has got a big matchup against Arsenal, who looks set to get the result at the Santiago Bernabeu. But folks, the Champions League is heating up. I've made my final prediction, Barca. Salts is going PSG. Chat, y'all are giving us y'all's predictions, and we appreciate it because it's all been archived. I can now go back and look at this shit when we find out the true winner. And folks, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel. We are out. It's been a beautiful watch along. It's been a fun time. Do we run this back for the second legs?
I say for the Inter Bayern game, yeah.
Yeah,
because that's the only close one. Just focus on that specifically. Just focus on that game. On that.
All right, bet.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Subscribe to the channel. Give us a like on your way out. And till next time, guys. Peace.